Mi gente, what's good? My name is DJ Integrity. I am the host of Mix Mondays, and what you're about to see is a recap of a past interview that we have done on Twitch. Make sure that you're following us there, Oxen Brand Music, and then also like and subscribe for more content like this. Dale. A little bit about who Jamil is.
Yeah. So, of course, my name is Jamil, right? I'm a music artist, dancer, performer, worshiper, and then lover of music. And music has been with me since the beginning. So I'm just grateful to be here. I was, born in Bronx, New York, raised in Charlotte, North Carolina. So this is my home right here, Charlotte, repping 704. You know what I mean? Really started my music journey in terms of like really seriously taking it. In 2018, dropped my first single. It was called "I'm Back" in 2018. And then, after that, I was like, I produced everything myself. So I was like, I'm gonna work on this, work on my own music, work on my own craft and stuff like that. And then I started taking it ultra serious, probably like around 2019 when I dropped my first like mixtape, which was self-titled called Jamil.
Yeah, that's what's up. And like you said, man, you do it all. So what were you first? Were you an artist first? Were you a dancer first, producer first, or did they just kind of all happen at the same time?
In terms of like, or if you want to include dancing, I was definitely a dancer first, but I've always loved music. Like I used to like burn CDs and like, yeah, back when they had like LimeWire and FrostWire, I was making making my own mixes. RIP to my old computer too, all the viruses. But yeah, so that's how like I was like doing stuff like that. I was doing creative stuff. My granddad, may he rest in peace, he had a piano, like, had like all the sounds on it and stuff. I would like play the sounds, and I was young too. I was like maybe like 9, and I was doing this. I'll play the sounds. They're like, oh, you have a knack for like, kind of hitting the keys and making kind of rhythms and stuff with these sounds. I was like, yeah, but it wasn't until I was like 14, I believe, when my parents got me FL Studio, because they saw I like really like enjoyed the music, and it was like, we got to get them something. And that's when I started.
Fruity Loops.
Yeah, that's when I started producing. So that's when I really started like hitting the music. But for dance, for me, dance is like the real start. I started like dancing since I was like 2. Since I can remember, I was like dancing.
Oh man, that's what's up. That's what's up. Hey, what up, Ann? We got Philippines in the house. We got Cabby. What's up? We got Michigan. DJ Charlie Watch. Yeah, LimeWire was it. Yo, and actually that's actually how I first came to know about Christian hip hop. And in case we ever have Flame on the show, I'll let him know then. But that is where I downloaded some of his music illegally and got to know a little bit more about the words. So with you having that background, so it sounds like, and I know we were talking again a little bit off air, you come from just a musical family. Like there's just a little bit of everybody does a little bit of everything. Is that what kind of helped propel you into that space, you think?
That's definitely what it was. My father used to dance, and like he used to dance for the church and stuff, and like create mimes back then when I was like real young. And so like he would make up dances and stuff and play music to these gospel songs to do his mimes to. And I was like 2 years old. I would walk around like this, and just like he would choose the song based off of my response to it at 2. So he was like, okay, I'm responding to this kind of song. He said, I'm gonna choose this song and I'm gonna choreograph to it. And when I grew up, he put me in those performances as well. Like, and I was dancing back then. And then, my mom is a singer, poet. My older brother is a singer, phenomenal singer as well. My younger brother writes poetry. He played an instrument as well. So I just grew up around it. We were a very artistic family. We was doing plays. My dad is a playwright. So like I was in plays real young, dancing and everything on the plays and stuff. Like we was acting, had lines and all that. So that's how it started.
Yeah, that's cool. That's always really cool to be able to have a family like that too, because then creatively, I mean, I feel like you get a jump start, right? You end up getting a jump start because that's just kind of what everybody's used to. Gotta ask, only because Nashizzles did it. Do you get tired of people yelling North Carolina after you say that you're from North Carolina? You know what I'm talking about?
Like North Carolina.
North Carolina.
No, actually, I haven't heard it that much, but
oh really?
People I know are from North Carolina, so they're like, so it's not too crazy.
Okay, well we got some old heads in here too. We got some OGs, so that's immediately we talking about taking yep, just like she said right there, waving around like
Petey Pablo. I actually met Petey Pablo too. maybe like a couple months back. So
Oh, word?
yeah, yeah, real dope.
Was it just a like a random meeting, or was it a specific event?
No, so I was actually dancing background for this artist named Greg Cox.
Dope.
Yeah, he's an amazing artist, and he's based in Charlotte as well. And he had Petey Pablo on the song, so he was shooting the video, and Petey Pablo walked in, and that's how I met. I was like, "Yo, what's going on?" I was like, he's a North Carolina legend, so it was like
Yeah.
you see him, I was like, "Oh, snap, that's Petey Pablo." So and he was chilling, he was real cool. So it was cool meeting him.
Yo, that's cool. That's
Yeah,
that's dope. And I mean that's a cool little moment to just be like, hey, I'm already here to do this. Oh, look at you. I know who you are.
yeah, 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 yeah. That joke was crazy.
Man, that's what's up. That's what's up. All right, cool, y'all. Well, hey, make sure you guys stick around. Thank you guys so much for tuning in already. If you guys don't already know Jamil, he's going to be in the chat as well. And, oh, by the way, guys, I did not know this until just a little bit ago. He also streams as well. What days do you stream, bro?
I'm actually gonna start out my streaming stuff, but it should. I think it's called Jamil Official. It's still my my Twitch account. But yeah,
Okay.
but yeah, I'm definitely working on my streaming game. I'm trying to get like you, trying to get my streaming game up, and get some things started.
Hey, hey, that's what's up. Hey, one day, guys, one day when we get done with the show, we'll raid into Jamil one day. That's what it is. We'll do that. So, snap. Okay, so you got some sport heads. So if you are into sports, especially college sports, the Shizzle is asking you a question in the chat. So, but we're gonna go ahead and keep going with the countdown. We're gonna go into number 9, the homie, the friend of ours of the chat, of the stream, of the IG. We've got the homie Aram featuring Abel with Rocky. Let's go. One thing that I wanted to talk about and I wanted to ask you is, so you're a producer, you're an artist, you're a dancer, but more specifically on the dance side of things. So I'm a b-boy. I do some choreography, but it's a lot more just breaking than anything else. But
Right.
I know, being a DJ as well as a dancer, there's always this like mixed internal struggle when it comes to like what music that we're using, especially like in dance classes and being able to have opportunities to backup dance and whatnot. What have you done to kind of, or actually, have you had to wrestle with that kind of like dancing for quote unquote secular songs or anything else? Like what kind of resolve have you kind of had to grow into with that, if that kind of makes sense?
Yeah, that's a great question. So for me, like, I haven't really had that conviction. Personally, I don't listen to a ton of secular music myself. Like, if you look at my phone, I got a lot of gospel music, a lot of worship music, a lot of my own music,
Yeah, yeah.
and a lot of CHH, of course, too. When I'm choreographing dances, there'll be times where I do dance and teach to secular music, but I always have boundaries with myself. Like, I'm not like, you'll never see me choreographing to like Cardi B or like WAP, of course.
No
Like
WAP.
that crazy.
No worship and praise. Is that what
No worship and praise. Not that kind of worship and praise. All right, but so there are some boundaries and things like that that I do like to put myself in, and just and being a figure that people see, especially being in the Christian community. You want to make sure you have you uphold a image of someone. So I feel like. I think that's important, but I haven't had that internal struggle. I've prayed about it, and I think everybody has their own convictions with that. I don't think that's the thing where it's like it's one extreme or the other, but I feel like everybody has their own thing when it comes to that. For me,
Yeah.
I know when it's my personal time, I'm not listening to a lot of secular music, you know, but when I'm choreographing dances, I usually pray about what I should choreograph to.
That's
so
dope.
yeah. I'm always led in that way. Like one time I had even choreographed to a song by Smokey Norfolk, a gospel song, and at a hip hop studio, at a hip hop dance studio that I taught at,
Oh,
and
dope.
and they loved it. It was like, man, this is what I needed, And sometimes seeing that is like, it's amazing because you're like, oh, I thought you wanted this number one Billboard hit song but I did
Right.
this, and
Right.
this is what helped you the most. So that always reminds me, but that's why I like to be led into what I dance. But being a professional dancer too, you dance background for people, you dance background behind artists. I've done that, dance background for some artists and things like that. I've danced at a club before. It was
Yeah, yeah.
the club was empty, granted, but it was like in Atlanta, and it was like. But the thing is, though, I felt horrible, not necessarily because I was in the club, but just the fact that like the way it was, it just I didn't feel
Mm,
good being there. You know, it just wasn't my
yeah.
vibe. So moving
Nah.
forward, I was like, I'm gonna decide how I handle up my business in terms of choreography and stuff in the future.
Yeah, yeah. No, I feel that. And I think it's just a growing process regardless, you know. And
Yeah.
like you said, it's a personal convictions, knowing where you are. You know, shoot, as a DJ, I mean, gosh, I know this as a dancer, but especially as a DJ, like when I'm serving different guests and stuff, there are certain guests that I know are going to be requesting certain songs,
Yeah.
of course. And so but I have to know myself, because if I start to download a bunch of it and just focus in on it, I can tell how that does change my thinking, my thought process,
Hmm.
right? How I interact with people and whatnot, and if I'm not aware of it, then that can be an issue. But
Yeah.
but at the same time too, I think it'd be also safe to say too, like, good music is good music,
Yeah.
right? All things that are good. I mean, God created things, and then when we created them, He called them good, right? And so, just like anything else, a tree that was created for good could be chopped down, made into something, and used in an evil way. And it's like, well, the tree in and of itself is not necessarily bad,
Hmm.
but the way that it was used and misused and whatnot could be. And I think with the same thing with music as well. I mean, there are good songs that we still can listen to.
Yeah.
For you as an artist, are you a little bit more along the lines of like, I want to create explicitly, gospel tracks or gospel centered tracks, or are you a little bit more open to not open? I don't want to say that, because the bad part is about it, if you say you're a Christian, anything, immediately people are like, oh, then you're close to this, you're close to that, and it's just like, well, now wait a minute, chill out. You don't know me like that. You know what I mean? But like, as far as you for an artist, are there certain things that you specifically want to do with your music in terms of lyrics?
In terms of lyrics, I think I can only be authentic with where I'm at in the moment. Um, like if you heard my most recent album, it's called Full Effect. Like I have a song, it's called Time to Talk, and it doesn't say God or anything in the whole song, but it sounds like a breakup song, but it's really like breaking off of relationships in general rather than like a boyfriend girlfriend relationship or that kind of
Mm,
relationship. But
yeah.
it was a thing that it was an actual thing that I went through in my life. And then there I have very explicitly Christocentric music, where I'm talking about the blood of Jesus and everything. When I'm feeling it, I create it. So I'm just led in that way. I'm actually working on a worship like EP kind of thing, like a real worship EP,
Oh, dope.
yeah, you hear it's not like, oh, is this kind of like a hip hop spin on it? No, it's like a real worship EP. I've had dreams about it, things like that. So like, yeah, so I just feel like when I'm a creative all around. So I'm not just a rapper. I've written songs, I've written full ballads, I've written stuff like that. I've written stuff for like the R&B Christian kind of side of things. So yeah, I write
Wow.
music. I write worship music. I write rap music. I can write it. I can write pop music. I can write whatever, So
Whatever you want, I got you.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And so that's how I feel, So I think to limit myself into what somebody is thinking of me without even knowing me, and knowing my walk. So I think I can't let that happen. I just got to do with what I know the Lord is speaking to me about.
Man, that's dope. That's dope, man. I'm excited to hear about that worship album too.
Man, it's coming. It's coming.
All right, man. Well, we're gonna go ahead and keep going with the countdown. We got number 8. We got the homie Zay Jones with "Move Around." Let's go. One thing that I would definitely like to know is, what does your creative process look like? What's the creative process for each thing? As a producer, as a dancer, as an artist?
Man, man. I love the creative process. I'll start with dance. So for dance, and it kind of all this kind of trickles into each one. For with dance, it really goes off of how I'm feeling. I might start off freestyling when I'm dancing. play a song, right? Or I might just freestyle like with just movement in general, and then find a song that matches the
Oh, yeah,
routine.
yeah.
Yeah, and then choreograph to it, and then start. Okay, let me see if I can find a song that matches that kind of tempo, that BPM, and everything like that. Other times I'll hear the song, and I think this is the majority of it. I'll hear the song first, and I'm like, oh snap, and I'm gonna work with it, and then I'll do the freestyle with it, or sometimes I'll like um, think about a move first when I'm hearing a
Mm.
song, and I was like, that'll be the starting move, and then I do like a puzzle piece, connect it, and I've even had like dreams about like moves and stuff, and I'll wake up and then
Dang, bro, you be dreaming
choreograph.
about everything, man.
Man, God be speaking to you, man. That's what I'm like. And I'll wake up, I'm like, song ideas, all of that too. So, but yeah, when it comes to music, when it comes to production, similar thing. Like, I'll usually, if I'm using like a loop or something or a sample, I'll start off with the sample, and then I'll bring the drums in. I hardly ever start with drums. I like melody a lot, so I'll bring up the melody in first, and then build the drums around it. So it'll start melody 808, and then drums usually, or melody, drums, 808, percussion, add the extra stuff, then vocals are right and all that. And then when it comes to actually writing, in the writing process, once I have my beat down, because everything that I've done, everything that you've heard from me so far, except for like maybe one song, I think that's In the Name, like KAG produced that, but everything else I produced myself.
Hey, that's
So
what's up.
yeah, yeah. So what I usually do is when I'm creating, a lot of the time I'll like do like a whole mumble reference track, like melody, just melody. I'll like mumble the whole thing, the whole song out, and then I'll catch the vibe and I'll fix it and fit it with words. Like I'll match it with words, like a puzzle piece, and then like the way my syncopations were, my cadences were, I'll try to find words that sound similar to it but make sense,
Mm-hmm.
and do it like that. And then other times I'll just, of course, just write, but I'm a writer. I can, kind of do that a little bit of off the top and write while I'm like, write it in my head. I've done that
Yeah, yeah.
before, but for me, I'm a writer. So I love to write it out and see it and visualize what I'm saying.
So what? So as a creative, because we got some other creatives in here. We got
Yeah,
Jada,
yeah,
who's an
yeah.
artist.
Yeah, Jada's dope.
Uh, yeah, yeah. We got Nishizzles who does. She does custom work with all types of materials. Definitely shoes is where she does a lot of it. But
That's dope.
so we got different creatives in here. What do you do when you get that block? Right? Because we all get it. We
Yeah.
all get that block. So what's your process to kind of work through a block like that?
For me, it's the way of thinking that helps me with my blocks, I'll say, quote unquote, because the way I was philosophized too about the creative block is that the more you create, the less of those blocks you have. Um, you
Okay.
know, creativity creates more creativity. Like it allows more room for creativity. You can't run out of creativity because it's God given. You know,
That's true.
so
I mean, you can feel like it though. You
yeah,
can
you can
definitely feel
definitely
like
feel
it
like
though.
it. You can definitely feel like it. And so I think it's more of we don't like what we create rather than running
Ah.
out of the idea. It's like,
Okay, I like that perspective. Okay, I see where you're
yeah,
going.
because you're like, man, I can't come up with anything that I like. You might come up with something, you might be like, oh man, but you might hate it and just like, nah, this is trash. I'm not gonna mess with this. But I still created it, and that's what I see come around with myself a lot of the time. I'll come up with something. I'm like, man, I'm really not feeling creative at the moment,
Yeah.
and then I'll just leave it be for that moment, and then come back to where I feel like that. But then other times I'll push through, and like there's some of my songs that I feel like personally now, once I push through, are my best songs. Like your baby, you push the baby. I was like, it's a
You put
baby
all that work
now,
in there.
yeah. So it took that work, but and took the strain of like getting it out. But now that it's out, it's beautiful. So I feel like that is important too. Like to know that even if you don't feel it, to still do it, because creativity is not always an emotion. It's really just the idea, and being able to putting an idea out into reality.
That's good. That's good. Do you ever feel like maybe in the process that you're making something or that you're working really hard to make it, that if it's not coming together, that you just got to put it on hold and just kind of keep it moving to something else?
Yes, I definitely do. I have I have beats that I worked on yesterday or like the day before, and I was like, nah, I might never work on this ever. Like I just leave it in the graveyard, and that's okay. And that's the thing for me, like knowing that and that's part of the process, and that's why I love the process. You have those ups and downs through the process.
Yeah.
Because it shows the natural element of it. It's like this is perfectly natural. It doesn't have to be the smash hit every time. I think whenever I have those moments, I'm like, man, all right, this is just not coming together. I'll come back to it and see. Actually, I'm doing this. It's a song. It's called Weak, and me and Adriel Cruz are on it. I got Adriel Cruz on it.
Hey.
And I had looked at one of my old files, and I was like, I actually tried to make this beat before, like maybe like a year ago, and then it was like a melody, and then I finally listened to the voice memo again of the idea I had, and I played it out, and I made the beat. I was like, oh, this is so much better. And so when I compared it, I was like, oh snap, I forgot I even like made a previous beat to the same idea. And I was like, oh man, I'm so glad I revisited the sound to make a song, because now I got my guy Adriel Cruz on it, and I think it's gonna be fire when it drops.
Bro, that's dope. That's dope, man. I'm excited for you. I'm excited for that as well.
Yeah.
Oh, this is the point that I was going to make. So when you said that creativity is not necessarily an emotion, but we as creatives know that we also create through our emotions, right?
Yeah.
That's how we try to articulate our emotions or whatever. As far as emotions go, do you allow yourself to go ahead and create through those emotions? Like, are you a person that's like, if I'm feeling down, I'm gonna go ahead and like say that kind of stuff. Because my personality is this: if I'm not feeling good, like if I'm upset about something or I got a lot weighing on my mind, I am a person. My personality, I don't gravitate to like slow songs or songs that are like oh my gosh, like the world is hard. Because I'm already in that place.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be there. I don't want to relate to you because I'm already relating to myself. Right? There's enough of that. So as far as a creative goes, how do you steer through your emotions? Do you go ahead and go, all right, we're gonna hit this head on, or do you go be like, yo, I need something to counter whatever I'm feeling right now?
Yeah, if you're talking about like the emotions, it depends on what emotion. For me, so like if you're talking about like happiness and excitedness, being excited and then I'll definitely create some music in that emotion. If I'm feeling like in my feelings, I'll definitely create to that. I'll make a song to that. There's a song called Tuesday's Interlude that I did, like my 2019 mixtape. That one is like pure in your feelings. I was in my feelings, just singing the song and everything. But when it's kind of like more like that sorrow, like down in the dumps kind of feeling, I find myself not creating music when I'm feeling like that. I'm more dance and worship and dance during that time.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Because that's something I give to God. So I worship and dance when I'm feeling like that. And then I feel like I have a gift to my dance. And so when I do that, I just offer that up, and that helps me to relieve that. I like to feel this kind of pure feeling when I'm creating music a lot of the time. But also though, like, was it yesterday? I believe it was yesterday. But today's Monday, right?
Right. So, yeah.
Today felt so long. But yesterday I was creating a song, and I was creating a beat and everything. And I was like, I had something happen, and I was just upset. I was feeling like a little like what? Like, how can somebody think this about me? And they don't even, kind of, feeling away. I was feeling away a little bit. But I made a song, I made a beat, and I had like put a whole idea on it, and that joint was fire, man. I can't even. That joint was fire. Yeah. But I was like, when listening back to it, I was kind of feeling that similar emotion. But after some time went by, I was like, oh no, this joint is just fire altogether, but it was a release though. It helped release though, so that was big for me, because I was like, I never usually create in that kind of capacity, but starting to do that. I am starting to go through that lens of like actually feeling something and then creating, rather than just waiting until I feel good to create.
Until you come out of it. Yeah, I was actually on an IG Live Gospel Hydration, and there was an artist on there that they were talking about the exact same thing, that a lot of times artists will create, after they've come out of something, which isn't bad, of course, but the creativity of being able to have express those feelings right then and there.
Yeah.
I commented and kind of compared it to like the Psalms, right? When David,
Yeah.
would be writing, and it was definitely while he was in the cave, right? While
Yeah.
he's running for his life, and so there's definitely power to that. But then, so we're talking about the emotions and everything else, and going through them. Something that I saw is you had struggled with some depression for a little while, and it got to a point where you were either feeling suicidal thoughts. I don't. Did you attempt something? I don't know if I read that right.
Yeah. So when I was young, like I would say middle school, high school, early high school years, that's a crazy time. Puberty, all of that, all of those
Yeah.
things going on. But yeah, I was depressed, man. When you look back at it, like, man, what was going on? Like, there was a couple of things that was happening. I had like my older brother had ran away at the time, and I was 12. He was like 6 years older than me. So, and I had looked up to him like he was like, you know, like my biggest influence at that time, and that like impacted me in a big way. And then like, like the middle school stuff, I had liked this girl, and I had asked her out or whatever, and she was like, nah. Like, so that was like my first kind of form of rejection. Nah, I think we're better off as friends. And so, and then
Friend
and then
zone.
man, and then growing up, I grew up as a small kid, and I'm not the tallest person in the world. I'm like 5'8" now. I'm not the tallest person in the world, but when I was young, I was still small. Like, my whole experience of my childhood was growing up small, and I would get bullied. So I would get bullied a lot. Like, it was this big kid, man. I'm not sure if he was actually 6 foot in the seventh grade. I think he was, though, to look back at it, because he would stay that same height. I saw him in high school later on. I was like, he was the same height. He was like 6'1" in seventh grade. And he would like trip me, push me around. I had other people like bullying me. It was another big muscular guy in sixth grade. We called him steroids, because he was literally like cut up like a grown man in sixth grade. And like, we're laughing now. He would like push me around and stuff, he was swinging at me. Like, it was crazy. So,
Oh dang.
yeah. So, imagine me be, my small self in sixth grade and this brolic person. And
Bro, no, you
so,
take him out of the knees, just chop him. Just chop him.
I had to do what I got to do. But yeah, so like those things were happening and this is all happening around the same time. The rejection of I felt neglect from my one of my biggest influences at the time of my life, being that young, things like that. And then just the overall feeling alone. You have the devil speaking to you like, nah, you're not worth it. You're not whatever. And so I contemplated suicide. I never attempted it, but it was something that I would think about, and I was like, man, what if nobody would care if I was, if I wasn't here anymore? Like, I would think that like often too. And I would feel like, man, I guess it's true. It feels like it's true. I feel like nobody would care. And then, but the moment for me where I felt like I was getting out of it was two things. I was learning the power of prayer, and then learning how to cast thoughts down, knowing that every thought that was coming into my head was not my own thought, wasn't just my thought. So at that time, and learning how to cast those things down, and then reading my Bible, learning how to dance, and as a form of worship, and things like that. Change at the time, especially. A lot of the music at the time too, if I look back, a lot of that music was very depressing music. Like you said, you listen to music, and I'm listening to sad music while you're sad. Like, I was listening to like music that was like, you listen to it now, it's like, it doesn't feel right. It makes you feel like I was doing all those things. I was feeding it. I was feeding that depression. I was doing things to feed it. And so when I became aware of myself, like, okay, this is what I need to stop doing. I need to change my habits, and that helped me to get out of it. And then prayer and deliverance, really, I got prayed for.
Yeah.
I had a group of people that knew the Lord really well and were prayer warriors, very strong prayer warriors, and and helped me, in my deliverance, prayed for me, So, and I feel
Man,
like
that's
that
good.
combination of things, and my family, my parents, they were amazing. And then later on, they found out. I told them, told them how I was feeling, and so, and they stepped into it and was able to pray for me too. So all of that was in the consistency of myself. Okay, I'm not going to be this. I'm not going to stay this way.
That's what's
That's what
up,
did
man.
it.
No,
Yeah,
that's good. And like Nisha said in the chat, the power of prayer is so underrated
yeah,
in society, and I think um, we just kind of pass it off as just kind of like shooting in the dark and just kind of
yeah,
hoping, you know.
yeah, yeah. But I feel like for me, uh your prayer is definitely essential. It's like I feel like as Christians, man, prayer is so essential. You need it. You need it. That's how we communicate. That's how you communicate to God. Like, and that's how God, when you're praying, you listen, and then you speak, and so when I learned that too, like that it's not just me that is doing the speaking. And I was like, oh, so I'm hearing the Lord speak to me, like, you know, and then replacing those thoughts of not being worth it. And then hearing the Lord say, I love you. I remember when I heard it
Oh, that's
was
good.
so clear one time. I just got up, I woke up in the middle of the night, woke my parents up, and just told them, like, the Lord said, he's my friend. And I was like crying,
Mm.
and so things like that, and being able to hear that. And so if you're willing and open to that, I feel like as Christians, it's so important to make a practice, a habit of prayer.
Yeah, yeah, no, absolutely, absolutely, man. I'm loving this conversation. I do want to. We're gonna go with the countdown, and normally we would go with number 6, and then we'd go into prayer. But since we're talking about prayer so much, it would make
Perfect
way more
segue.
sense.
Yeah.
Right, it would make way more sense. So, guys, if you guys have any prayer requests, make sure you guys put it in the chat. As always, I'll do my best to try to keep track of everything, and then Jamil's going to close us out in prayer. So, as always, we always are very intentional about praying together as a community, especially right then and there, because it's one thing to say, hey, can you pray for me? It's another thing for someone to actually pray for you right then and there, and that's what we try to do here on every stream. So, we're going to go ahead and go into prayer requests. And then if you guys put them in the chat, as you guys already know, we do have an app called Oxen Team Network. It is an app that is strictly based on discipleship. It's kind of like social media, but we own it. We don't have to worry about it. So if Facebook and Instagram go down, we still keep going. So it's a cool community. We also have the prayer team. So shout out Amy. I know you in the chat, girl. So and every Wednesday night, they lift everybody up in prayer, and so they love to see these prayer requests come in. So it was actually on our top 10 several weeks back. So I'm actually excited to run this back and actually be able to get a chance to hear from you a little bit. So song is called Don't Need. What is that song about, A? And then B, what was that like to be able to make that? Because again, as a dancer, as the choreographer of the actual video,
Yeah.
what was it like, man? So just tell us first off, what's the song about, and then what was it like to be able to do all of that?
Well, this I would call this one of my party songs. So you guys could say like the turn up records, but it's a very interesting backstory. Funny enough, because it was during the pandemic, like the middle of the pandemic. Like 2020 when it hit, when everybody was doing push up challenges and everything. That's when I made this record. So it was called. So it was really. I had this idea. I was in a car one time, just driving by, and I had like that melody, the da 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 da, and then that came, and I was like, when I got home, started working on the beat, and then like I don't know what made me think about the I don't need no friends, give me that, but that was what came. That was the
Yeah.
first thing that came to my head, and then I was like, I'm gonna keep going in this vein because one, I'm home by myself, like I'm
Got
in
nothing else to do.
yeah. And so like I can't hang out with my friends. It's in the middle of the pandemic. Like I was like nobody could go nowhere. And we was quarantined up, but I was still like finding ways to have fun. I was like, so I don't need no friends to get me lit. I'm here by myself.
Yeah.
That was kind of the premise behind it. But then also, funny enough, at that time, like I was starting to my friends that I had like for like 12 years, 12 plus years, I call my brothers and things like that. Our relationship was starting to diminish, like in terms of like, I don't know,
Mm.
we was falling out, it was having a fallout. And it hurt me a lot. That's why if you heard one of the lines on there, it says like, I've been off and on with my clique, meaning like, so I've been off and on with my clique. The people that I've been so close to, we were going off and on around that time period. Now sadly, we're no longer friends. And it's sad, but like I saw it in those kind of things. I was like speaking it in the song. It was in a way prophetic. It was just the fact like, man,
it's coming.
Yeah, and then so it's a lot of layers behind it, but in all, it's a turn up record. Like it's like it doesn't matter who's around. I'm gonna have fun. Like I don't need anybody to have fun. I don't need anybody to get in my zone. I don't need no friends to get me lit. So yeah, and then I choreographed to it. Dance to it. The guys in the video, they're dope. One of them danced behind Toby Wingway at the BET Awards recently. Another one, he's in LA and he's a professional dancer as well. Amazing. So those are my guys, Johnny and Danny. So yeah.
Bro, you're doing your thing with the choreography. Love it. I love it. Man, did you have any kind of like director control? Yeah.
But this is the first time I really had a lot more hand in it. Like we've done a couple of videos before together. But I was like, I really want to do this like choreography thing and do it in this kind of studio and then switch it to like the grungy parking lot. I've as a dancer, usher, caught out video, all those kind of things. It's like you want to dance in a parking garage. I was like, I got to dance in the parking garage. It's
all right. The parking garage is always perfect, man.
Bad. You think about bad. You think about
Yeah.
So all of that. So I was like, I got to do this. And then I helped edit the video too, which was dope. Having like, okay, let's do this shot and stuff like that. So I did have some hand in it, but my guy Hudson is a mastermind.
For me, and I know we talked about this a little bit off air. I love when artists, especially in the Christian space, can not only create great music of course as well, but then as far as shows. So is this something that you normally do in your shows too? Like do you always try to like do you get a chance to do this kind of stuff, or have you not done a lot of shows? Like what's kind of that been for you?
Yeah, I want to do shows really bad. I haven't had the opportunity to yet, but this is the perfect time. Follow me at Jamil Official if you want to book me. Send me that email on Instagram or whatever. And you can get it popping. But I definitely want to do this for a show. I definitely want to when I do like, big shows, I get my dancers, hire dancers, do like a full joint. Like, like I don't think that's ever been done in the Christian hip hop community, let alone just the regular industry in itself, like a rapper who's like really dancing, like I got got the mic joint up to the side like this, and I'm straight dancing and performing like,
hey, boy band vibes, Britney Spears vibes.
Facts. I got to. So I would love to do that and bring that into the show. So,
yeah, no, that's really cool. He was our number 8 video. Zay Jones, friend of mine. Yeah. One thing I've always told him that I really appreciate about him is that he does go out of his way to make sure that his shows has those dance elements. Even when we performed not too long ago in Michigan, he linked up with some dancers from Detroit. They came over to the Grand Rapids area and had a whole choreography thing, whatever, whole show. And then, being able to DJ some festivals and have Danny Goki and watching him and his band, have choreography together. Like it just takes it to a whole nother level, which again, I agree with you. It's like, we just don't have that in our space. And like, I know financially, yes, it's not always, really helpful or possible, to pay this, that, and the other, but it can be done. And if it was done more often, I think just like anything else, people would not only start to appreciate it more, but then start to see the need that of, hey, my budget, Jamil is coming in. It's like, hey, listen, I can come in and do my tracks off a phone, but it's not the same as if I had, a DJ and a drummer, or by doing that, like, hey, I've got these other 2 dancers here, like, and if you could do all of this stuff, and it's just, it obviously becomes, more expensive, but if you're looking for experience, right, which most people are when they're booking artists and everything else, even though I know they're trying to like save, but that's a whole different conversation. But I agree with you. It's like, but if you really want us to do it, and let's say this for churches, right? For churches, it's like, yo, you know, you want these kids, you want these other people to look towards, you know, Christian artists like yourself, but you don't want to pay to allow me to bring a show that would allow them to be like, yo, instead of going to such and such concert, I want to go and see Jamil because I know what's going to happen. You know what I mean? Like, trust me, I'm vouching for everybody when it comes to stuff like that.
Yeah, man, best believe, man. When we when it's go time, it's go time. I did a show one time, like a performance at a college, and I danced. It was just me. It was just me, and I did the dance. But they was like, "Oh snap!" Like I did a whole the whole second verse of my song. I just danced to it. I put the mic down and just danced, and they was like, "Oh snap! This is crazy." So you know, that was a good feeling. So when I get the opportunity to dance with background people, like it's gonna be fire. And Zay Jones, me and him actually talked recently. We was talking about that.
What's up?
Yeah, I was like, "Yo, that's dope that you dance, man." And he's like, "Yeah," because I saw you dance too. And then like so. Hopefully, we talked about maybe getting together and doing something. So hopefully that'll be soon. Working on some music.
Oh, bro, yo, that'd be really dope. Yeah, I would say, hey Zay, I'll drive you.
Yeah, well,
so I'll come out.
You know we're gonna be dancing in that video. You got a video. You know we dancing in that one.
Yo, absolutely. So that's the video, right? Everybody loves it in the chat, but you do have some new music coming out, which I'm really excited of the artist that is featuring, which to see that you guys have actually done several different things. Like I had no idea. So tell us a little bit about some of the future projects that you got coming out in like what 2-3 weeks.
Yeah. So it's about to be crazy. So and I'm glad I'm here to give you guys the first scoop of this. So I got the first song the whole month of January. I'm dropping a song every Friday with the feature on it. So the first week is January 7th. I got me and the Saga, Christian battle rapper and an amazing artist. People don't even know. Like some people don't even know. Like a man can sing first of all and can spit for real. So like in song form, like just go crazy. So me and him did several songs before. Like we done a song. It's called "Who's With Me," like with me. We did that on my first album in 2019. We did another one called Sudden. And that was fire as well. And then we got a new one coming out January 7th called Extravaganza. So me and him got that. I'm trying to get my stuff together for the video now. We're going to be shooting a video real soon for that one. So that's January 7th.
Yeah, and I'm excited about that because shout out to you for allowing us a sneak preview of that.
Yeah,
little exclusive there. I was like, yo, this is dope. And I mean, honestly, especially when Saga comes on too, I was just like, whoa. I mean, I knew he was on it, but like knowing him for more as a battle rapper, you know, on my end, I was like, yo, this is dope. So yeah, make sure you guys, if you have not already followed him on social media platforms, make sure you guys keep up with that because that was crazy when you said that you're gonna actually drop every single week, man.
Yeah. I got one with Mike TZ too. Me and Mike TZ got one. Me and Mikey J got one. Me and Adria Cruz got one. So that's the month of January, and then you know I got some more stuff planned. So some real big stuff planned soon too. So
a whole lot of different things, and of course we always want to talk about future stuff too. You told us everything that you're going to be doing in January, and we can only imagine that you've got more for the other 11 months. But that first month is going to be nuts to keep up with. But for an artist such as yourself, are there any kind of features that you're looking forward to that you don't already have something with? Are there any kind of artists that you're looking at that you want to connect with?
Yeah, I'll start off with some practical things that I'm working on first. So some features that I'm practically working on right now that I'm trying to get done. See if I can get me one with Caleb Gordon. I love what he's been doing in the space, and so I think everybody has, you know. So if I can, I have a song idea that I have ready to. So I'm preparing for that. Me and 350 actually we knew each other like in 2019, in terms of like through Ruslan. We was all on a Patreon together when we was grinding it out. So that would be cool. That would be real full circle to do a record with him. And I just worked on something, and I think that I got some music like ready to kind of work on to send it. So those are some more practical ones. You know, probably some future, you know, if it goes crazy and it just like the man gets crazy, maybe like an Andy Mineo kind of thing, you know.
Okay, you going for the big guns.
Yeah, man, that's the only way, I have I got big faith. So, but yeah, if that ever happened to happen, man, that would be crazy. I remember meeting him at a concert and telling him, I had told him too. I was like, I was 19 at the time. You know, I'm 25 now. I was 19 at the time. I was like, hey, I'm gonna do a record with you, man. And he was like, all right.
Yep. Yep.
So
I could hear his response for sure.
he's like, all right, yeah. I was like, I was looking at him like so dead. He was like, yo, we're gonna do a record together for real. And so, but yeah, so Andy for sure. And I'm even open to like working with some artists who are more on the secular side that have like a leaning towards, Christianity, things like that. Like say if I did a record like Chance the Rapper or somebody that had something that like, that actually has a faith-based foundational things, and be able to connect in that way, I think that might be
Yeah.
cool too.
That's cool. And so, you talk about really enjoying melodies and stuff, and so that my mind immediately goes to like R&B. Like, are there any like singers that you're looking at? Because I just I just feel like with the music that you make, and I mean, gosh, again, hearing the Saga guys, if you have not heard anything that him and the Saga has done, make sure you guys check that out. But
Yeah.
are there any kind of singers that you're looking forward to try to hit up?
Yeah. So Lundy, they're
Oh
dope.
yeah,
They're dope. And their manager too, B Rose is real dope. And maybe we got somebody on the stream. Maybe me and Jada do one. You know what I'm saying?
ah snap.
So might have to link up and do one for sure too. But yeah, man, I think I haven't really thought about it like that. So I definitely gospel artists. I definitely want to do that. I feel like even like having gospel artists, even like on the hip hop records, and I'm going to do some worship records as well, like full worship records. But I want to have some gospel artists like on some of that, hip hop vibes. But I also got a dude named Greg Cox. I mentioned him earlier.
Yeah.
He was actually on tour with Aaron Cole. If you heard, so he was on
Oh,
tour
that's
with Aaron
cool.
Cole, and he's based in Charlotte. Me and him, we got one working right now, and he's dope. He got a Grammy. He was off of working with Kirk Franklin, so he got a Grammy working on one of the Kirk Franklin songs. So me and him are working together right now. He's an amazing singer, amazing artist. So I'm so excited for that one too.
Man, that's dope. That's gonna be
Yeah.
exciting. Jada, I'm guessing by those emojis or whatever. She's saying she's ready.
She
She's
said
ready to
the
write.
pen is ready. Just I
The
got you. I
pen,
got to get me something ready for you.
pen is ready. Yo, that'd be dope to actually hear Jada kind of get stretched that way too, because she got some talent, but we already had her on the show, so we definitely know that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, Jamil, it has been a pleasure to have you on the show. Do you have any final thoughts? Anything you want to let us know? I mean, again, we know January is going to be crazy. You got January 7th with Extravaganza, which I got a chance to already listen to. So you guys are definitely going to enjoy that. Do you got anything else that you want to just let us know, or any kind of final thoughts for the fam here?
Yeah. First, I want to say thank you guys for logging in with your boy, man. This is dope. So I'm excited about everything that's happening. This is just the beginning too. So yeah, Extravaganza January 7th. Is out right now for pre-order. So you can pre-save it. I'm going to the link in my bio on Instagram. All right. So my Instagram, if you don't know, is Jamil Official, JAMIL Official, all together. Follow me. I'm gonna follow you guys back for sure. And yeah, so pre-save that. The more you pre-save it, it'll get playlisted and it's have to pop off even more. I'm trying to make this really go crazy. And then all these songs that I'm dropping in January, I'm trying to get it out there. So it's your help. Your help is what's gonna do it. So pre-save it, and I appreciate you guys.
Yo, thank you so much for sticking around to the end. Hopefully you found any of this content useful, and if you did, make sure you like and subscribe, and of course hit that notification bell so you can be notified for the next time that we upload anything. However, make sure that you're also following us on all of our social media platforms, and of course we want to see you guys live in the chat in our Twitch, so make sure that you guys are following us there as well. Love you guys. Peace.